Welcome to the Quiet Shift Podcast. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by guests on this podcast are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect or represent those of the hosts, production team, or 502 Media, LLC. We do not endorse or take responsibility for any opinions, statements, or actions made by our guests, as their actions are entirely their own. This podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Discussions may include topics that some listeners may find sensitive or triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. The Quiet Shift Podcast and 502 Media LLC do not accept any liability for the statements made by guests or for any actions taken by listeners based on the content of this podcast. The Quiet Shift Podcast is a registered trademark of 502 Media LLC, all rights reserved. Any unauthorized use, reproduction, or distribution of this content without the expressed written permission of 502 Media LLC is strictly prohibited. Thank you for listening, and welcome to the Quiet Shift Podcast. To the Quiet Shift Podcast. My name is Anthony, content creator, badge 502, and we have a very special guest, somebody who's exploded onto the scenes, exploded all over the place, if you will. Our good friend, he's a firefighter, paramedic, content creator, owner of a fantastic handlebar mustache, and author. He can read and write of Don't Lose Yourself, a first responder's guide to mental health. Our very good friend of the program, fantastic human being, our good friend Cody, the Salty Paramedic. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
Hey man, how's it going? I'm doing great tonight. Excited to be here.
You look good. You smell good. I can smell you from here. You look fantastic.
I smell like Mexican food. I just had Mexican food.
Oh, that's it, baby. What's that behind you? You got a Salty Paramedic flag?
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness. This guy's got his own land. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
He just conquered Pretoria. So what's been going on, man? How's everything going? How's the life?
Man, just staying busy. Doing this whole content creation thing, trying to balance that family life, work life, figuring it all out along the way. But it's fun. I love every minute of it.
That's awesome. How long you've been creating content for a while now, right? A few years at least.
Yeah. It'll be 2 years into December. So
okay, excellent.
Right when my daughter was born.
Oh, beautiful. Was that one of the inspirations, just to kind of give you something?
Mainly out of boredom because she slept all the time. But yeah,
it is wild. Like most people here know, we just had our little girl. She's 2.5 weeks old now, and I tell you, it's one of those things where I want to play with her all the time. Like I just want to play with her, and she is just like, I see what you're trying to do. I raise you sleep for 19 hours. So there's like no playing with her right now.
Yeah.
It's so wild. So you've been creating content for a couple of years, but you've obviously been a firefighter, a paramedic.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know, firefighter, paramedic, in a lot of places, some places have firefighters who are not that.
Hey, Badge, you're muted. I don't know if you're muted for everybody else.
That's pretty wild. I don't know how I did that. Maybe hitting spacebar does that. I don't know. But anyway, for anybody who doesn't know, for a lot of towns, it's not always a medic program that they get involved in. So it'll be, for instance, the town that I live in, we have a firefighter EMT, but he has a higher scope of practice. So you can do a little bit cooler stuff, right? He can intubate people. He can administer different drugs that we cannot. Just a wider, broader scope of practice. We turn over command of a scene to the folks with his skill level in our level. So in our area, we don't have firefighter medics. For those of you who don't know what a firefighter is, that's someone who eats till they're sleepy and then sleeps till they're hungry. That's their big thing. So thank God they have medic stuff to do. Otherwise, they'd just be chasing Zone 5 fire alarms all day.
He's not wrong.
So tell us about your journey into doing all that, into going through medic school and going through firefighter programs. That's obviously a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, man. So growing up, my dad was a firefighter. I was around the firehouse my whole life. I grew up around it. Spent a lot of time there. It's all I ever wanted to do. Going into it, I had no idea that some fire departments had ambulances, and I really didn't realize that until I got hired onto one. So it was a big eye opener. But anyway, at the age of 15, I started. My dad instituted a junior explorers program. So I got to go attend some of the trainings. I didn't get to go inside the structure fires, but I got to get my feet wet a little bit. At the age of 18, I transitioned to a volunteer. Got to go in the structure fires at that point. I was like, okay, this is even cooler than I thought. Did that until the summer that I turned after I turned 18 and went to college. Got a bachelor's degree in fire protection administration, 4-year degree, and then went met my wife there at college. She was my RA. We got married junior year. When we got out of college, it took me about a year going through the process of my current department. Got hired, and like I said, I got there and I was like, "Why are there ambulances here?" They're like, "Oh, you're going to EMT class." I was like, "Okay." So I went to EMT class, did 3 months of that, got my EMT, and then immediately after that, they're like, "Hey, do you want to go to medic class?" I was like, "EMT is not that bad, sure." And so I went, ended up loving it. Got my medic, in 2017. Been doing that ever since then. Got promoted about 2 years ago, so now I mainly drive the fire truck. Still do a little bit of medic stuff,
Okay.
but man,
Very
it's
cool.
it's been
You're
a
an
it's
engineer?
been a blast. Yep, yep.
That's cool. For those of you guys who don't know, people who get to turn the big steering wheel are called engineers.
Yeah, that's it. I don't get to go on fires much anymore, but man, it's been a blast this journey. And then, like I said, 2 years ago, I started doing the content creation on the side, just making funny videos about the job, kind of, you know, as stress relief for myself, but also other people. Getting those comments, those messages from people, that was really uplifting and helped me push farther and do more. And it developed into something huge that I did not anticipate. And here I am right now, man.
That's awesome, man. What a journey. Did you along the line, did you have any other, because you said you started at like 16, so that's, you're a puppy at that age. You don't really have
Yeah.
a whole lot of wiggle room to do a whole lot of other stuff then. Are you at that point doing any other type of work or?
Yeah. So at the age of 15, I got my first job. I worked at Arby's a little bit. Then I worked at Little Caesars. And that first summer out of college, I came home and delivered pizza for Pizza Hut. But other than that, I worked in restaurants at college. I was actually a grill cook at Hooters. I did
Nice.
not look I did not look good in the shorts. And then I transitioned and went to Logan's Roadhouse. I was cooking
Okay.
steaks there and lobster every night, eating steak and lobster in college.
Oh,
It was a great time.
eating good in the neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
And then at some point, you're just like, I would rather run into a burning effing building.
Yes.
when
Yes.
my
Restaurant work
initial
is not for the weary.
my initial transition, because I was working in the restaurant for a long time, and when I started to transition into EMS life and into fire life, my people are like, why do you do this? And I would literally rather burn into a structure fire or
Yeah.
run into a structure fire
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
than have to get somebody their ranch dressing one more time. I can't live my life like this. I'm not built for this anymore. 10 years
Yeah.
was
People
enough.
get ridiculous, man. Like some people in
They're comical.
restaurants.
Like the best part of working in the restaurant life is that you get to meet so many cool people, and the worst part is just the people. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
god.
100%. Yep.
So you've been on this content creation journey for a little while. When I could tell you when I started, because I started pushing my Facebook a little bit heavier than some of my
Mm-hmm.
other platforms, and the minute that I jumped on Facebook, man, I can't get away from you. You are everywhere.
People tell me that all the time. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
It's wild. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, look, your algorithm. So every algorithm is set up differently. So you have your Instagram algorithm, your TikTok, your Facebook, all these different algorithms. They have their own way of finding videos for you. So if you ever notice, like when you go on your TikTok, you might have people that you follow on both platforms, but your algorithm isn't the same. You're finding different people, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
completely different handful of people that I find on Facebook. I don't see them at all on TikTok
Yeah.
or at all on Instagram. And the reason I see Cody so much is because I follow him on all platforms. That's just
Mm-hmm.
because he's the bee's knees. He's the cat's pajamas. So when I came on Facebook, all of a sudden, man, let me tell you, the Salty Paramedic was just all over the place. And I'm like, this is somebody I need to pay attention because he's doing it up right now. So, what was that journey like for you? Just starting that process and getting all the way through to where you are now. Because obviously, when you start with 3 followers. You're talking to
Yeah.
nobody. So what was
Yeah.
that process like for you?
So I actually posted about this the other night. I hadn't really talked about it. So a few months before my daughter was born, I actually made a Facebook and Instagram called Pit Daddy. Because for a few months I wore Pit Viper sunglasses around the firehouse, and my
Oh my
wife
God, the pit
gave me
vipers.
the name Pit Daddy. So I was like, I make these memes at the firehouse all the time. I'm going to post them under this account. And I did that for a little bit for a few months, but kind of, it got to the point where I'm like, if I want to grow this big, the company Pit Viper is going to sue my
Yeah,
ass.
they're gonna come after it.
so I got rid of that, and then I was sitting, at the hospital with my daughter. I was like, the name the Salty Paramedic popped in my head, so I created that account, and I started initially doing no videos with my face. I took clips from movies or whatever, and I posted those type of videos, and those got really popular and gained some traction. I'm like, well, maybe I'll start including my face a little bit. So I did a few skits here and there, and some of those went viral. And I was like, this can really do something, because I was always discouraged, because a lot of guys in the firehouse have their hobbies and their skill sets where they do that second job where they'll go mow yards or work on cars. And I didn't really have any skills. I worked overtime at the firehouse all the time. That was my skill.
Fucking
And
nerd.
yeah, and I was like, you know what? My skill is I can make memes. I'm pretty good at that, photoshopping things. So I turned it into this, and I'm so proud of what it's become, because believe it or not, a lot of hard work goes into this. A lot of
Oh
people's
yeah.
like, you just make memes on the toilet. Well, yes, somewhat, but
You mean The
like you
Office?
said,
That's
yeah. But I mean, I've been presented a lot of cool opportunities. I got to do stand up comedy. I've done some talks on my book, and I've met some amazing people, and I'm so thankful for everything this has brought me. But and in the beginning, I was cranking out 5 to 7 videos a day, because I was like, I got to be repetitive. I got to put in the work. And now, I still try to stay repetitive and put in that work, but I can kind of relax a little bit more now. I've established that base, and
absolutely. Yeah,
it's a good time.
you can kind of fall into yourself a little bit and
Hmm.
kind of detrend yourself because you have other videos to bolster yourself.
Yeah. Hmm.
When did you start noticing that it was picking up? Like, give or take, how far into this were you?
Man, it was a month or two.
Mm.
I wasn't huge, but it was like way bigger than I anticipated. So I was like, you know what? I said,
Yeah, this
I
might be
think I can
something.
do this. Yeah, yeah.
This might be something. I remember when it was I was just putting out videos that were my whole thing was I was just trying to kind of make myself laugh, and it made other people laugh. That was cool too. But like it was a way for me to kind of focus on my own mental health and kind of
Hmm.
disassociate from some stuff that I had just learned, because I started this the same time I started EMS, the same time I started um, 911, all that type of stuff, and it was a nice way for me to deviate from that. And lucky me, I've had a couple different forays into social media. This is the one that took off, and I've been super blessed to be able to do a lot of really cool stuff with it. So
Hmm.
it's one of those things where you just got to keep cracking at it. You just gotta
Yeah.
keep trying.
Oh yeah.
You started off on which platforms?
So initially, I just made Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I made a YouTube a little bit longer down the line, and I just don't post on that anymore. I can't understand YouTube, because I just do shorts. I don't do
Tough
like long
platform.
form content. Yeah, maybe one day I'll try to do it again, but right now it's just I've stayed with Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook throughout my journey. For some reason, Facebook has blown up the last few months. Like my original Facebook got hacked, and I had to
Oh,
start a new one like 9 months ago, and I'm almost to 300,000. But that's my biggest platform, and it's only 9 months old. So I
no,
love the
Facebook.
people on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook. Let me tell you, man, Facebook showed up. Facebook
Yeah.
really showed up for us. It was pretty
Hmm.
wild, and it's
Yep.
just been going since then. It's been
Yeah.
a real ride.
Hmm.
Like hundreds of thousands of people just showing up out of nowhere. Freaking
Oh
great.
yeah.
These guys are great. I have them up right now. They're watching us. They're staring at us. They're looking up my nostrils and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's been just a wild
Hmm.
ride. What did you? So you said your content kind of evolved from like memes and things like that, and then you just
Hmm.
started putting yourself into them.
Yeah.
That's where I made my mistake, man. My stuff was initially was just straight away, automatically right to just me, my face, stupid stuff like that. But man, I was like in my old uniform. Like man, that was
Oh yeah.
quite the backlash. You should, for
Yeah.
those of you creating content, don't do it in your uniform. Don't be that
Yes.
guy.
Yes.
That's why we create the Batch 502 crew.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do that, you know. But it was worth it. It was a great time, and I finally had that one no video that decided it wanted to take off, and that ended up being like I don't know, close to 1 million views in like 9 hours. I woke up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. My buddy was like, you need to get your ass on TikTok right now because your video is exploding. And like my previous video, I think had like 75 views.
Hmm.
I'm like, what's exploding? 2,000? No, man. When your people find you, they freaking find you.
Oh yeah. Yep.
How how does your content, your specific content, the stuff that you do in real life, how do they balance? How do you work your real life kind of like into what you create? Because most of your stuff has an EMT or a fire flair to it, but I've noticed you branching out to a couple other types
Yeah.
it's like
Yes.
observational humor. It's a lot like we see a lot on Facebook and TikTok now. There's a lot of observational humor. Like we'll find a video, we'll react because I don't know if you know people on the internet. Some of these people should not put these videos on the internet,
Hmm.
but
Yep.
fortunately for us, they do.
So yeah, I've started branching out into that, like you talked about. But uh, so when I did all these skits, it was primarily EMS and fire. But also I've been my dad. He's a dispatch director, so I've been able to dive into that world a little bit and understand some of the humorous things they go through. And then of course, hearing things at the hospital when we drop patients off, so I can relate to nurses a little bit. So I've done some nurse humor, and of course the cop humor. Uh, Poor cops. The jokes write themselves.
They really
Um,
do.
yeah, but I try to, all first responders, I try to make fun of us all, because I don't hate anybody. I'm just trying to poke fun at the job and make our jobs a little bit easier, make us be able to laugh in the end. But yeah, like you said, I'm branching out into that, kind of reacting to videos because people started to send them to me, and I'm like, this is fun. I get it's like America's Funniest Home Videos kind of. Um, but I enjoy that too. So I've started doing that a little bit. So
Yeah, and they come out great, man. You have a good eye for detail in some of these videos. Your sense of humor is spot on. Do you have the same type? Because obviously, being in EMS, people ask us a lot of the same. I'm sure same type of questions. So whenever I go live, I'll have a lot of people ask me, what's the funniest thing you've seen? What's the wildest call you've had? What the one that we never are going to answer. Obviously, for those of you who
hmm
are out here, just don't ask us what the worst thing we've seen is because we don't want to relive it. And believe me, you don't want to relive it either. Imagine I asked you like what the worst thing you've ever seen was. You want to recall that? Absolutely not. So we actually had a really cool opportunity, Cody, and I actually he presented it to me. It was really cool. For those of you who have never heard of or haven't seen the movie Code 3, we actually had the ability to pre-screen that movie and give a little review on it and post that, which was really awesome. How did that all come about? Because you had that you presented me with that opportunity. That was out of nowhere.
yeah.
That's really
So, I recently started my podcast, and I partnered with Jim's doing it. And while it was in the planning stages, the co-writer of the movie reached out to me,
cool.
and it's like, hey man, I wrote this movie, and I'd already seen the trailer, and I was already going to see the movie. And he's like, I'd love to, be able to send you a pre-screening so you can watch it. And I was like, oh, I'd love to. And then the podcast started. I'm like, hey, I'd love to have you on the podcast, just talk about the journey. So had him on, talked about how that all came to be, how it started off pretty much as a college writing class, creative writing, the script, and then it developed into, hey, his brother knows a Hollywood director, so he eventually got his Hollywood director friend to read the script, and then they acted on it. And I think he said the total time on it was like 17 years from script to now in theaters. But it was impressive, man. Just his
17
journey.
years. Can
Yeah.
you imagine that? I can't do anything for 17 years.
No.
My God, that's a wild ride. But it was really
It's
cool. Like I was able to I was able to bring the laptop over to my EMS department because we have a multi-purpose room, if you will, and it has a projector in it. So we threw it up on the projector and blasted. It was awesome. It was a little theater. It
yeah.
was really cool. I've had the opportunity to chat with the director and obviously Patrick and all these folks. It was
Hmm.
really cool. So it's one of those things where it's like you don't expect content creation to do something and open doors until it does. It's really cool.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Um, what so we touched on it briefly in the beginning, but you're an author as well. You wrote your book as well. So let's talk a little bit about that. The book, as I mentioned earlier, "Don't Lose Yourself: A First Responder's Guide to Mental Health."
Hmm.
How did all that come about?
Yeah. So it's just been an idea in my head for the past few years. I stumbled across a YouTube video. Somebody was talking about how easy it is to publish a book through Amazon service. I was like, well, maybe I can just go ahead and write this book and go that route. So I did. wrote the book. YouTubed how to edit the book myself because I didn't want to pay an editor because that's very expensive.
Yeah,
Edited the book, had my wife proofread it a few times, changed a few things, and then submitted it for approval that night. And within a few days, man, I was having a shipped copy to my door, an actual book I wrote, and I was like, "This is insane."
that's nuts.
And I wrote it not thinking. I was like, maybe I'll sell a few copies, and man, it took off. I'm getting close to 10,000 copies sold,
Hell
self-published,
yeah! Look at you.
and the all over the world. I've had people from Belgium reach out to me, telling me that they've enjoyed the book and it's helped them, and it's just unreal because it's personal experience it's a personal experiences I've had, and things that I apply in my life, working in this field that has helped me, and for some reason it connects with people. So yeah, I did that, and I decided to write the follow up to it. Going into relationships. So my wife helped me write that one. We've been married 12 years. We're not perfect, but I like to think we have a happy marriage. And working in this field, we see a lot of people struggle, a lot of relationships struggle because we don't know how to handle it. Our spouses don't know how to handle us because of the crap we see and we can't process it. So, that's why I wanted my wife to help me. She's able to give, spouses that look through her eyes, and then I give my point of view. And I think it works well. But yeah, I've self-published 2 books this year, and it's been great. I'm so
Self-published
thankful.
2 books. My God, unreal. Um, was that something that you've wanted to do? Like, has publishing, maybe not even necessarily publishing your book, but writing just in general? Because like
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of we'll call them jokes, but sometimes they're not that funny, guys. But like they'll say stuff like especially between firefighters and officers, because let's be honest, the EMTs are the smart ones, right?
Hmm.
We let those dopey firefighters go run into stuff, and we let those cops go ahead and lock up the bad guys, right? But we do the
Hmm.
smart people stuff, right? So if you can believe it or not, Cody can read, he can write, it's insane. So is that something that you wanted to do, you know, in life? Was that a goal
Yeah.
that you wanted to accomplish, or is it something that kind of spurred on, or?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not your typical jock fireman. I'm a huge nerd.
Right.
Growing up, I love to write. In third grade, I think I was published. I had a poem published or something, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm hot shit." But it was just going through school. I always loved to write. In college, me and my wife had a creative writing class together, and I wrote a short story that I was really proud of. I wish I still had that, but it's just something I always enjoyed. And when I found out, it's like, "Hey, I don't have to have a publisher to get a book out there." I was like,
Mhm.
"I'm going to do this,"
And that is very.
and
You're right. That is very expensive.
yeah, and it's so I did it, and I love it, and I've caught the bug, and I'm going to keep writing, and see what happens. But
And the great thing is you can write indefinitely. You don't have to
yeah,
worry about when your back gives out and your bones give out. You can still write. You still have your voice. You still have
exactly.
your mind. You could use that for forever.
Hmm. Yeah.
Have you so being in this field already, have you given any thought to maybe transitioning off the front lines of it, maybe going to an education route, or because obviously
Uh,
you're giving speeches, you're writing
yeah,
books,
yeah,
you're doing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, which is really awesome. I give people a lot of credit for that. That's
yeah. People,
you either
people,
you either can do that or you can't do that.
people ask me all the time now. When are you leaving the firehouse because you're doing all this extra stuff? But I've reached that sweet balance where I can still have my job at the firehouse. I can still do this, and I'd like to think there won't be a point where I won't be able to handle everything. But uh, you know, I don't see myself transitioning to an educational route until retirement. I see myself
Okay,
retiring out of my fire department.
okay,
I'm able to. I'm a CPR instructor. I help with paramedic class.
same,
ACLS, all that stuff. So I can still teach on the side.
okay.
Um, but yeah, as of right now, I like this balance. I like going to work every third day at the firehouse and then coming home and
No, I
doing
feel
this
that.
thing. And
So you said you were volley first, right?
mhm,
Since you're a medic now, obviously you're on a paid department. But how
yeah.
long has that transition from volley to paid been?
Yeah, so I was technically only a volunteer for 3 months, and then I went to college. And when I came home on summers, I volunteered just during the summer.
Okay.
But and then when I got out of college, I was just doing restaurant stuff for that year until I got hired. So I
Oh,
wasn't a volunteer very long.
it's a different department than you volleyed on.
Yep. Hmm.
We're
Yep.
somewhat close. Like you're still
Yeah,
still
it's
in touch with
close.
your buddies.
So yeah, I volunteered where I live in my hometown, and it's where my dad volunteered when he was younger, and it's just it was a department close to me.
Cool. That's awesome, man.
Hmm.
And now you're able to
Yep.
do it for a freaking career, which is freaking great.
Oh
That's
yeah,
why people always tell you, try to if you do something that you love, you never work a day in your life. So now he's
exactly.
managed to take that. He managed to advance that. Has instructor certifications. Has a book under. Has two books under him. Freaking unbelievable, man. God, it's just can't take this guy anywhere. He just does way too much. Um, the content that you have now, it's consistent with the type of content that's out on the internet now. There's nothing that's outlandish or that would get you chopped down or anything like that. It's
Hmm.
not hyperbolic. It's not hyper political. Obviously, if anybody, I don't. So this might be a controversial topic, right? But you see a lot of content creators that are like, when a strong political issue hits the table,
Hmm.
all of a sudden, every content creator and their mother feels like they have to put their 2 cents in about it, or the entire world's like, "What do you think about this? What do you think about this?"
Hmm.
And content creators will say, I have a duty to speak on this." I hear what they're saying.
Hmm.
I hear, I get it, I understand where they're coming from. I look at it from this. I'm monetized on these platforms, right? I'm very blessed to be monetized on these platforms. You guys do not pay me to give my opinion on things like that. You guys pay me to be a deviation from the norm, to come hang out, to kick back, relax, to have a laugh, hopefully have a laugh if what I say is funny, and just separate yourself for just, even if it's a 10-second video, separate yourself for 10 seconds and just enjoy being away from the seriousness for so long. I make videos about booty humor and things that make my job harder as an EMT, or if I have to see this SODU because people are sending me 9,000 tags and just some of the most insane things. Like, it's a
Hmm.
deviation from the norm. Um, so since you as well, I don't see that type of content on your page where you're talking about hyperbolic or heavily political things like that. So your content has the ability to kind of stand the test of time. Is there a direction that you kind of want to take that content?
Yeah, I like the path I'm going down. I talked to someone on the phone today about possibly speaking at their conference, and he was like, what's your mission? What's your goals and all that? And I said, it's always been the same. I got on here to make content, to make people laugh, to make them feel better about themselves while they're doing these jobs that we do, these having these careers that, we see traumatic stuff. And I said, I've transitioned that to now I've got a book. Now I do talks on the book, but it's always the same. I'm trying to bring awareness about mental health and improving people's mental health and just keep an overall better mood on the job. Boost morale, um, leave the job better than I found it. So
Locker room guy.
I just hope to continue to make it better and better, make more of a difference among people across the world, and that's really my sole mission right now, and I hope I can continue it.
I like that, man. Listen, locker room guys are how captains are made. Tell you, it's tell you that for free. That's how you do it. It's how you grow in
Hmm.
the department. It's how you make sure that people want you around. Especially the higher ups, the brass. Make sure you want them around. It's
Yeah.
important to be a role model type of figure. It's easy to be the goofy guy, the towel whipping guy, the freaking prank guy. But if you're able to separate that and be a leader when being a leader is called for, that's such a huge thing. Is that something that you're
Hmm.
you're interested in taking on a leadership role there, probably, or?
Yeah. So I don't see myself wanting to go above the captain role. Um,
Mhm.
my dad,
So
he
if I was like
retired.
Cody, I'm gonna make you a bat chief tomorrow. That's not your thing.
I not right now. I don't see myself ever being a battalion chief. I want to have that set group of people at my station, and be responsible for them and be able to build a camaraderie and
Mm,
be able to do the job together. And
you
my
know what?
dad, he retired as assistant chief, and he always said that his favorite position was captain, on the department.
Okay.
So I got to agree with him. It could change later on down the road, but
Mm.
with everything I'm doing on the side here, I don't think I want to go any higher because I don't think I'd be able to handle that.
We got
So,
somebody in the chat that says his mustache is already above captain mode.
ooh, nice.
He's blowing it out the water. Too good, too fast. Is there anything that you do on the side other than this? You got any other like little side projects? Any hobbies? Like what does the salty paramedic do to make himself less salty?
Before I did all this internet stuff, I enjoyed video games. I enjoyed fishing. Um, and now I don't really have time for any of that, which isn't to say that I'm miserable because I'm not. I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life.
Love it.
But now, with this internet thing, I'm not at work as much and I spend more time with my family, which has been huge for my mental health. Coming home to my three kids, my wife, being able to spend that time with them is just monumental. So
That's huge.
that's pretty much what I do in my spare time now is just doing stuff with them, making memories. And I'm
I
so
love
thankful
that.
because the internet has been a big part in giving me that opportunity.
I love that so much. That's freaking awesome. That's honestly that's what it's really all about. Being able to create content, which is awesome. By the way, I do suggest, and I tell everybody this, man. What we do, not rocket science, man.
Hmm.
If you have a sense of humor, if you're able to get into content creation, I highly suggest it. I mean, it really is super cathartic. It helps balance your life. It gives, like, I'll give you for instance. Right now, I'm obviously on paternity leave, but I'm able to still create content, and that still creates a small income for us, and
Yeah.
that's really cool. It helps, not to say that it helps pay the bills, but it definitely helps. Put some gas in the car at least. A little something.
Yeah.
But
And it's fun watching yourself grow because when I started off, I was just using my cell phone as a camera, and I was propping it up on stuff. I didn't even have a tripod.
yeah,
And then, okay, I made a little bit of money, and okay, I bought a tripod, and now I bought a ring light. And now
cool.
you introduced me to this camera. I just bought a new camera, so you slowly start to get some money, but then you put it back into the channel so you can watch yourself grow and you know get better stuff, to make the content more professional looking. I guess is the
Isn't it
word.
great?
Yeah.
It's cool because all of a sudden you start to realize, hey, I'm doing something here.
Hmm.
It's like let's try to figure that out there. It's like, I've started something and it was cool before, but like I can evolve this. And it's really cool
Hmm.
trying to see what directions. I can't even My poor wife has probably heard me throw so many ideas around. She's probably like, that's great. Next,
Hmm.
whatever. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna do a fundraiser for the town that I used to live in for the food bank. Well,
Hmm.
what, where'd that come from? I don't know. I just want to do it. What's the worst that happens? I made it go. Yeah, and that's what I did. I developed I to kind of tell that whole story. I don't even know if you know the story. When I was growing up, right, I was one of those houses that had Christmas cards all over, like all the doors, and we would wallpaper or gift wrap our doors, and we would
Hmm.
hang Christmas cards on. It was a lot of fun. I mean, had the family send them, and friends would send them. And as we got older, my mom, as she got older, we don't have that anymore. So I was like, I kind of miss that. How can I bring that back? So I was like, listen, here's the game plan. So I put it out to my socials. I was like, listen, for everyone who sends us here at Badge 502 a Christmas card, I'm going to make a donation to the local food bank. So I'm not going to donate it to myself, obviously. I'm
Hmm.
going to make a donation to the local food bank in the town that I grew up in. And hopefully it's something cool. And I thought maybe I'll get 5 or 6 cards and, be whatever. I'll still donate $100 or whatever. We ended up getting like 500 cards that year. And, I made a chonky donation. I made a video about it. We went down to Costco. I met with the people first, and I was like, "What do you need?" And they told me a few things that they really need for the pantry. They said they wanted whole, um, whole raw frozen chickens. They said they wanted pasta and mashed potatoes. They said everything else they already have, but this will help feed dozens of families, dozens and dozens. I'm like, bet I'm in. So I went down to Costco, got all the stuff, and we dropped it all off. And I got to meet Josephine, who's an amazing, amazing woman. And that's I would never have been able to do that without content creation. God, you think I would have $500 to spare?
Hmm.
Absolutely not. And it was. I told people, I'm like, you don't have to send me anything. This isn't about me. People sent me like some cool ornaments, which is amazing, and some gift cards. I'm like, this isn't about me. You don't have to send me anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, like these are just really cool things that we're able to do just using our platforms. Anything? Have you had any type of experiences like this where
Yeah.
it's what has I guess the real question I'm asking is, has content creation opened up avenues to do something that you just maybe you never thought you'd have the opportunity to do, to help people, I mean, obviously in our career we already help
Yeah.
people, but
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
about like outside using that social media presence?
Yeah, last year I was actually able to go. Me and my family, we went to Walmart and we sponsored three kids for Angel Tree.
Oh, I love it.
And man, like you said, I'd never been able to do it before because we work in public service. We don't have a lot of money, and you know, I made a little bit of money off social media, and I feel obligated to try to give back because the internet's given me so much. So we took the kiddos and let them pick out toys for kids their age and clothing, and it was just a surreal experience because it's something I never got to do before, and never met these kids, and we'll never meet these kids. I hope they liked what they got, but just being able to get them stuff when they wouldn't have had stuff for Christmas, that was crazy.
How cool is that, man?
Yeah.
I would hope that, I would hope that at some point, if that was ever a situation that I had to, have to take advantage of, that
Hmm.
people would come through for us. So
Oh yeah.
it's really cool to be able to just do things. Actually, what was really nice was at the same time as me doing that, Steph went through some people that she knows, and they actually did um, like a food drive, like a regular food drive, canned
Hmm.
goods and pastas and things like that. I think there might even have been a little bit of clothing in there, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong about that. It ended up being like 600 pounds of food. It was insane.
Oh wow.
I didn't. I'll tell you what, I barely advertised that.
Hmm.
Barely, barely, barely. That was all her doing, and she was able to just absolutely crush it. And we brought, oh my god, bags and bags of food. I have that up on the YouTube as well if you guys want to go check that out. But it was insane. I'm like, holy smokes! And she was like, yeah, you did it. I was like, I was so proud. I was so stinking proud of her.
That's
She freaking
awesome.
crushed it. And it really had very little to do with us. Like, how many people live in my exact general area that'd be able to bring
Hmm.
food in? So she had it at her job, and just people would come in and come in and come in. It was really awesome. It was just really cool. It just affords us the opportunity to really do some really neat stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have any other long term goals, like just in life, as opposed to maybe not just within content, or like
This this
where's
is
5 year from now or 10 year from now, Codes? Where's he at?
Yeah,
Where's
it's
Codes
crazy to
going?
imagine that because this has pushed me farther than I ever would imagine I would have been at 50, 60 years old. But it's also made me realize like, hey, I can accomplish a whole lot more than I thought I could. I needed to be more confident in myself and what I had in my head. So 5, 10 years from now, I just want to be around the world speaking on my book still, and when I talk about my book, uh, hopefully still doing the video thing, the comedy thing, just growing. Um, I, at this point, it's a dream of mine to just, even if I'm just a damn extra, I'd love to be in a TV show at this point because that's something I never would have imagined would have happened. But
You gotta hear
uh,
something crazy, Codes. How old are you?
33,
He's a kid. This is a child. This is a juvenile, prepubescent male,
just a baby.
and he's done. He's a two-time author, at least 10K books roughly sold. Firefighter, medic. Has Have you seen the mustache he's been able to grow?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
that's the
just
most
so
impressive thing.
overwhelmingly accomplished. It's just so really. I'm just incredible. It's cool to just be able to to share that space with someone
Hmm.
who has that type of, because there's creators out here. I'm sure you guys have seen them. The creators that are just flash in the pan, creators that get 4 million followers just for doing nothing.
Hmm.
So it's good to be able to talk to good, wholesome people that happen to make really good creators. Someone said I'm quiet compared to Salty. Maybe Salty's loud. Did you ever think of
Oh yeah.
that? It's like this is as loud as I go, champs. but um, yeah. So we touched on different type of long term goals. We touched on a whole bunch of different things like that. Are there any like just hobbies that you have? Like, are you a I don't know, a fish collector? Are you a Lego player? Are you do you like to go for long walks on the beach with your sweet gal and talk about sweet sunrises until the fireflies tell you that it's supper time? Like, what's Code's
Yeah,
little Noah?
like I touched on earlier, I don't have much time for hobbies, but I'm trying to find a hobby because
He's in search for a
yeah,
hobby.
I don't know what to do with myself other than the content creation and the firefighting and
Anybody have any
paramedic and
suggestions for Salty
hanging.
that
But
he could do?
hey, I have started a hobby. Here, let me show you. So I recently bought like 5 or 6 comic books.
Okay.
Um, this was one of them. I love superhero TV shows and movies, and I always wanted to read comic books as a kid. So
Big
I've
fan of the
bought
deep,
these.
are you?
Yeah. So I bought a couple of those. I'm gonna start reading them. Hopefully it'll stick, and that can be my hobby. Maybe I don't know. I'm still looking for a hobby. We'll see what happens.
How are you lighting that bookshelf behind you? That little your book in the back on the side there. That looks like it's
Oh
glowing.
no, no. I mean, there's a ring light. Maybe I guess that's
Oh,
it.
you're just catching.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep.
man, that's
Yep.
a nifty little shelf. I need to get me a couple of those. Put my little Cheer Choice Award up on that bad
Oh
boy.
yeah. Yeah.
That thing's dope. Um, what have you? Someone says yes on the mustache. um, what have we done as far as have we had accolades? Have we been awarded anything cool for either fire service or through content creation? Anything
uh,
cool? Like, what's been some really cool takeaways so far?
as far as the fire service goes, I was my first year as a medic. I got 3 saves, cardiac
Oh,
arrest
hell yeah,
saves,
dude.
and that made me have a big ego. But then right after that, I had none, so I was humbled very quickly. But that was cool. That first year, it was like I didn't imagine stuff like that could happen. It made me feel good about myself as a medic.
I love that.
But I think I got medic of the year. After that first year, I was a medic, so that was cool.
Easy.
Yeah, but
Any of those
other than
stories?
that, and
Any of those stories?
no, no, no,
None of those
no,
yet.
no, not yet. Maybe one day.
Now
Maybe
listen,
one
buddy,
day.
it's coming. Freaking, I was telling for those of you who don't know, I delivered a little girl on my ambulance, but a week before that, actually a week to the day, we got called to a female party in labor, and when I arrived, she had she delivered in front of the officers, and she was just standing over the top of her toilet, and dad was underneath the toilet with the baby in his arms, and mom was just hovering over the toilet. So we showed up and we're like, oh, so what's going on? How we doing? And it was medics got called. It's actually it's a BLS call. Medics aren't really needed for childbirth.
Hmm.
But medics were already called because at this point we now have 2 patients. So they were on the way, and I put over the radio, and I was like, medics, how far out are you? Like, do you want me to cut this cord? And they're like, yeah, we're not going to make it. I'm like, all right, man, we're doing this. So clamp, and this is my first mom. The kid that's with me is like panicky. I'm like,
Hmm.
we're good, man. You did the
Yeah.
hard part. The hard
Yeah.
part's over. Clamp, snip. Get out of here. Let's kick rocks. She's like, do we have to go to the hospital like this? I'm like, I promise we're not going to the hospital like this. But we when we did finally deliver the week after that, that was a really cool experience. We had
Hmm.
we loaded her into the ambulance. She insisted on walking down the stairs, which I'm pretty sure spurred labor on even further because now you don't tiptoe downstairs when you're pregnant. She's
Hmm.
like do do do, and we get to the ambulance. I made it 2 houses to the corner, made the right, went a block, took it up to the main road, made the left, and made it about a block and a half. And the medics are like, Poppy, pull it over, bud. Pull it over. I'm like, oh, here we go. Time to get messy. But yeah, like there's just so many cool things you get to do in this world,
Oh yeah.
Who do you have any inspirations? Any people that brought either for fire, other than your dad, obviously, or even for content creation? Like, who are your content creation followers? Like the people that you draw your inspiration from.
Yeah, well, I met a couple of them at FDIC last year. Fire Department Chronicles and Firefighter Fenton. I told both of them, I was like, I remember y'all when I was in high school. I was watching y'all stuff,
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
it always made me laugh, and it was cool being able to, meet them, and they've seen my videos, and it's I've came full circle to be able to have some of the OGs, I like to
Yeah,
say,
no,
um, you know, talk to me. So
it's just so wild.
they're the inspiration behind my videos. A bunch of those guys, and hopefully maybe one day I can be somebody's inspiration.
I mean, I saw you had
All the
my buddy Lance on the
youngins coming in.
podcast. Lance is on the
Yeah, yeah.
podcast. Lance puts out some great content. I was talking to him a couple weeks ago. He's just an awesome dude. What's really
Hmm.
nice is like the creators in our space. I'm buddies with Jack, freaking what's his name? What's Good 24/7. Our buddy
Yeah.
Jack over there, the guys from Fire Department Chronicle, all these people.
Hmm.
Even when Sleepy was around, I still talk to Sleepy,
Hmm.
to Zach, which I miss that dude so much.
Yeah.
Sleepy was a huge inspiration for me to want to get into content. We had battles, and there was my ice cream army versus croissant army, and it was just a different world of content creation back a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Um, but that was really cool. Jason was cool. It's cool getting to meet some of these guys. I haven't met Jay and Fenton, but I've talked to them a bunch of times, and
Hmm.
I'll pop into their live and he'll be like, "What's up, Batch 502? How's everything, brother? Let's go." I'm like, "That's me. That's me. That's me. Me."
Yep.
um, what are the big takeaways? Like, if you were to tell people you had some real takeaways from this job, from creating content, what are some things that you hang up the cleats tomorrow? What are the someone says don't say ice cream. What are the biggest takeaways? What are the biggest points of pride for you when you hang the cleats up?
Uh, Man.
I mean, there's so much, you have so much room left, but if you were to hang them up tomorrow, the internet went away. Al Gore shut his internet down. What's the big takeaway?
Well, my wife made the biggest takeaway for me. She actually made me a scrapbook a few months ago, and she took a bunch of screenshots of messages I've gotten from people, and
Mm,
just all kinds of people from all different walks of life, and talking about the impact that my book had on their life. And it's just 100 dang messages, and that's just the ones that she screenshotted, and I can flip back and look at those, and that's the biggest motivation of all.
isn't
Um,
it great?
it's unreal. So
Do you get them
that
to your email also? Isn't
yes, uh-huh,
it great?
yep,
My
yeah.
email is such a dichotomy, man. I have some of the most amazing, amazing humans. I was one step from the edge, and your content, brightened up my day, and
Hmm.
you know, or all these different all these different amazing messages, and then I have the videos that they send me, and it's you sons of guns.
You
Why?
don't want to watch, but you need to.
Oh man, I'm like, I know, and I look down, and it's like facebook.com/share/ oh my god, okay, all right, let me sit down, this is not going to be good. but but yeah, I mean, that's probably, you hit the nail on the head. That's
Hmm.
probably the best part of all of this is,
Yep.
getting that person from South Africa, getting that person from Switzerland, getting that person from Egypt, or all the way out to New Zealand. I have people out in New Zealand and Australia that are just like, well, I imagine it's like, oh, your content really spoke to me. Yeah, but they're just some amazing humans that have reached out. And it's just such a great feeling. Like, it's, in what world did we have could we be doing this?
Yeah.
What a
Like I said
blessing.
earlier, I've never been confident in myself. I was always consider myself as a dumb boy from Kentucky. But like you said, you get these messages from people all around the globe saying that you made a difference in their life, and it's really empowering. You realize, what you have to use your platform for and continue to do.
Mm.
Keep your eye on it, and don't lose sight of it.
Do you remember the first time you got those messages?
Yes,
Isn't it
it
nutty?
was, yeah.
I had I still have him. I still talk to him. I had this guy. I won't put his username out there. Steph knows who I'm talking about. Steph just put flaring is caring in the chat. That's my go-to one. Um, but I had this one creator who he's in pretty ill health. He's not super well all the time. But he made a video, and he tagged me in it like 30 times. And at this point is when my content had really started to pick up. And even if I go to my tags right now, I'm gonna have 900 to
Mhm.
1,000 tags and stuff, and it's super hard to find stuff. But somehow I managed to find this one, and he had made a video, and he talked about how he was really having difficulty finding a reason to wake up in the morning, and he posted this video, and at the end of it, he's like, I'm bringing this video for one person. And he goes, badge 502. He's like, he does my little finger pull, and he tells me this whole story about how he was in the hospital, and how he had the last video that he saw was my video, and he was laughing, and he went to the next one and the next one. He said that the content just changed his entire scope of looking at things, and just like what a gift,
Yeah,
what a
yeah.
gift to be able to walk alongside these people
Hmm.
and just have the ability to reach a person like that. It's just the most insane thing. It's just
Oh
something
yeah.
I never thought I'd be able to do. Some doofus that worked in the restaurant for 10 years, who in what realm did I have the ability to do this? And I imagine it's the same for you. It's just
Oh yeah.
so crazy to we just you're you go to work, you throw your bunker gear on, you freaking knock something down, you go about your life, and all of a sudden you have these people reaching out to you, saying that you changed them or you affected them. It's just such a cool thing to be able
It was funny. The
to
other day, I was at work, and a guy pops in and asked if we had a challenge coin to trade. And my captain went back to see if he had one, and me and the guys were standing with him in the kitchen, and they were like, "Hey, did you go to the Kentucky EMS conference?" And they were just messing with him because they know I just spoke there.
do.
And he's like, "No." Or they said, "Did you go to the conference and see the Salty Paramedic?" And he's like, "No." He said, "But I just read his book and I loved it." And I'd answered the door for this dude. Like he didn't even put two and two together. And one of the guys I work with said, "Well, he's standing right there," and his eyes lit up, and he said, "Dude, can I get a picture?"
I
And
love
so one of
that.
the guys I work with had to take a picture, and it was just a surreal experience. Some dude I forgot what state he was from, but he was just visiting, coming through.
That's
It's
amazing.
crazy.
We have a guy in my department who just started on our department, but I've spoken to him. He came to our EMS awards dinner. I'm not 100% sure why he was there, but he was there. He's at our EMS awards dinner. Great dude, awesome guy. Decided at that point he wanted to join the department. He was already EMT certified, which was awesome. He came to hang out with us a couple times, whatever, and it was his first tour with us. He was only staying, I think, until like 10 o'clock or something that night, or maybe he was staying until midnight. And I mentioned something. I don't remember what I said. I was like, I think I might have just said, "Oh crap! I just realized what time it was. I have to post." And he's like, "You have to what?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do this content creation thing. Like I put stuff online." He's like, "Oh, are you like the department's like social media coordinator?" I mean, my partner at the time laughed because I am anything but my
Hmm.
department's social media coordinator. My department that I worked for despises the fact that I worked in my volley department. Despises the fact that I create content. Um, so I don't record there. Or I don't do anything
Yeah.
there. I completely swore that place off as far as social media goes.
Hmm.
And I'm like, no, it's not for the department. I post on like TikTok and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, okay. He's like, oh, what do you create? I was like, I'm like, I gotta go grab the auto pulse battery. I'm like, buddy, can you just do me a favor? Can you just show him my content? And so I walked out, and then I walked. We have these basically like the bay doors are like these double doors, but only one opens. So as the
Hmm.
door shut, I hear him go, "Oh shit, that's him!" I was like, so I walk back out. He's like, "Dude, I've been watching your stuff." I'm like, "It's cool, it's cool. Man. I appreciate. I appreciate you. I love you, man. I appreciate that." He's like, "Oh my god, I didn't even realize." I'm like, "Yeah, I have that effect on people.
Yeah,
I have
it's
a forgettable
crazy.
face, I guess." um, Getting into creation, content creation by itself, Jilly Bean, the department hates it because they ain't it. But getting into content creation is one thing. It's cool to just be able to go ahead and just put stuff out and just have fun with it. Um, but the process of creating content, it kind of has an evolution, right? You don't start out making content unless you're already in like the film industry or something.
Mhm.
Um, you don't start out making aces content. You start out just like you said, selfie videos or blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
all that type of stuff. um, I've always found that a big point of contention for people getting into creating content, the biggest thing I said I've had people tell me is I don't know where to start. And the one thing that I've always said, the tip and trick that I've always said is just make the video. That's the
Mhm.
best advice I can give you is make awful content. Do it. It'll teach you. It's a learning experience. You don't know what you don't know. So make some content, just put it out there, and just get it out there. Um, part of my business here at 502 Media is I help people develop um, their content and their platform. Hey, Brian, thank you so much for those stars. I see you over there, buddy. Thank you. I have a platform builder where I people come to us and we help them build their content, but they help them build it organically. We don't. It's not buying bots and all that type of stuff because
Yeah,
that's not
yeah,
real. That's not real stuff.
yeah.
You're gonna lose those in a couple days and it's gone, and then you just wasted your money on some schmo who didn't help you build your content and didn't make you a better creator.
Yep.
So we help build it organically. One of the things. Oh my God, stuff's popping off over here. It's just so loud. All I see is Brian. Is that Brian again? Thank you, Brian. Thank you again for the stars. I see you, buddy. Um, but the big move is what's happening. Oh, Steph's complimenting people. The big move I always tell people is just make the content, and from there evolve. You'll evolve.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get better. But there's that big lull where you're talking to nobody. You are talking to 10 people, and eventually it just grows. Well, if you could give tips and tricks to people who are either already creating content and wanted to do better, or someone who's maybe just downloaded TikTok or just downloaded, I don't know who just downloaded Facebook. What are you, 5? But people who just got into content creation, what kind of tips or tricks could you give them to either further their content creation or to get started in it?
Number one, be consistent. Like I said, when I first started, I was making 5 to 7 videos a day, and it's fine if you don't have the time for that. That's completely fine. But just try to, try to at least post 1 or 2 a day. Our type of content does not take a lot of time unless you're doing, skits and stuff like that. But be consistent because that base will grow. Also, when you do get big, like I've got a decent amount of followers. I still try to reply to as many messages as I can right now. Be personable. I've told people a million times I'm here to help you. So like I get messages all the time like, "Hey, I failed national registry. What do you recommend?" I'm like, "Well, I use medictest.com. I've also heard people like Pocket Prep. I get those messages all the time. People just want to chat about my book or whatever. I don't reply to all of them, but I reply to the majority of them, and I try my best to reply to all of them. Just try to be personable because people connect with that, and I feel like it helps you in the end. But those are my 2 big pieces of advice when trying to get into content creation. Also, just public service videos, comedy, it comes natural. We all experience the same type of things. We all go the same type of runs, so the comedy writes itself. You just have to lean on personal experiences. When I think of something, when idea pops in my head, I pull out the notes app on my phone, I write it down, and I have a huge list on my phone of videos to make. Um, I will say I've never once wrote a script for a skit. I don't know why. I probably need to now that I have this camera. But I put the phone in front of my face and I just talk whatever comes to mind. And my advice would probably be write a script. That way it's more polished and I don't know, it flows more naturally. But that's pretty much all I can offer.
The ones that I do with where I'm in the ambulance and I'm walking around, those
Mm-hmm.
types of the longer ones, those are all scripted. I would never be able to remember. It takes me 30 minutes a line anyway to record those. If I didn't write it down, it'd be miserable. It takes me 15 or 20 minutes sometimes just to record the ones that I do here that are short.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no. Yeah, sometimes I'm definitely my own worst enemy when it comes to that because I definitely like to make things extra perfect,
Yeah. No.
But you develop it. You
Mm-hmm.
have to be patient with it. It's so big.
Oh yeah.
It's so big.
Yep.
That's great advice, man. So everybody out here in Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Vine land. Go ahead and check Salty out on all of his platforms. Codes, where can they find you, buddy?
Like I said, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I'm most prevalent on. I post to YouTube a little bit, not too much. But I do post on YouTube on my podcast. My podcast, Just a Little Salt. So go follow that one. I had an awesome guy right here on an episode. So make sure to watch that one. But I got a lot of other guests and stuff as well. But sorry to talk about my podcast on your podcast. But
I insist you do.
But yeah,
That's where they can
just
find you. Let them know.
all those platforms, man.
Brag about it. You deserve it. You deserve your bones. You deserve your accolades.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. So you got the salt. It's just straight up the salty paramedic on
Yep.
all platforms, right?
Yeah, except TikTok, there's an underscore after it because that was already taken. Whoever took it, I'm seeking you out.
Right. They can fucking eat a bag of rocks. Freaking. That's what happened to me on Instagram. I have badge 502 across everything. Instagram, somebody had badge 502, and then I made EMT badge 502, and then now I can't find badge 502, but I'm I'm verified through the platforms, and the thing is, I'm verified through Facebook. I'm verified
Yeah.
through all that, so
Hmm.
I don't pay for it. It's just done.
Yeah.
And if I change my profile picture, if I change my name, and then
Exactly.
I have to redo the process, I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just not worth it.
Nope.
It was a nightmare being able to do that. So I'm just not here for it. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us on today's episode of the Quiet Shift podcast with our good friend Cody, the Salty Paramedic. Go check him out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all the major platforms. Check out his podcast. There's a little bit of salt over on YouTube. It is good. It is fun. It was nice to be on. It smelled good in the room. It was beautiful. So thank you so much for choosing to hang out with us, man. Any last words for these chuckleheads out here on Al Gore's internet?
Nope. Everybody have a great night.
Man of very powerful words. Remember, he wrote a book. Go check that book out. All right, go check that book out. Available on Amazon, on all major book platforms. It's on Audible, which is cool. So if you guys don't know how to read, you can just listen. Is it your voice
Hmm.
on the audio? On the
It
audiobook?
is not. It is not. It's a
Did,
guy that's way better than me. So,
did you have to pay for that?
not up front. So we split costs or split royalties. So
No. Go check
he,
that book out, or either listen to it or read it if you guys are weird and read stuff. Don't lose yourself. A first responder's guide to mental health. But you were saying you said you split the cost with the audiobook for how's that work? That's
yeah.
a whole thing that I'm not actually used to. I don't know much about it.
It's Amazon as well. Audible. I think they get like 60%, and then me and him both get 20%. I think is how it works.
Cool.
Not a
Also, he
huge
gets paid
chunk,
depending
but
on how well the book does.
yes. And the first book did well, so I asked him to do the second one. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm in."
He's like, I'm in. Wonder how many kid books and little nothing
Yeah,
books that don't amount to anything.
yeah.
I guess it's probably its own job, right? That's probably its own career,
Yeah,
voiceover
I mean,
stuff.
you can see the other type he's narrated, the other type of stuff, and I looked at it a little bit. I think it was like an anatomy textbook or something. I'm like, oh, geez.
Good lord. I actually had a friend of mine who narrated um, physics books. Narrated physics
Ooh.
books, and he also proofread math books. I'm
Oh
like,
my
oh
gosh.
my god, how do you do? First off, how do you do you have to sit there and do the questions? He's like, yeah. He's like, it's great.
Oh.
I'm like, what do you mean it's great? That sounds terrible. The worst thing that's ever happened to me. But guys, again, thank you so much for hanging out, Codes. Guys, make sure you check him out across all his platforms over on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Get that YouTube going. We want to get this guy a plaque. Right? I want to get me a plaque
Yeah,
too, by the way.
that'd be
So go
awesome.
follow me on my YouTube, you jerks.
Yeah, do that.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us on this episode of the Quiet Shift Podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to everybody who comes and helps us out. Thank you to our partners over at Roth ID Tag, Frontline Optics, Hero Link, Tracer Mountain Engraving. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Work hard, be kind always. Do not forget to tell somebody that you love them. Say it often. Make it weird. Have a beautiful rest of your night, guys. We'll see you on the next episode of the Quiet Shift Podcast. Bye, buddy.
See ya.